So many people say that Indonesian, or Bahasa Indonesia, is one of the easiest languages to learn. But why is that? Well, in this video, I'm going to give you 9 reasons why Indonesian is easy. Keep watching. Hey, you want to learn a new language quickly? Click on the link below and we will send you our free ebook full with tips and tricks on how you can learn languages quickly. Now, let's get back to the video. Hey guys, welcome back. So I recently wrote this beginner's guide at languageboost.biz, beginner's guide for people who want to learn Indonesian. And one of these sections here, one of the paragraph is about, 9 reasons why Indonesian is easy. So let's get through. Well, reason number 1 is that there are no verb conjugations. So in English, you also do not really have that. For example, you say I speak, but it's he speaks, right? You add an S. In Spanish, it's a little bit more tricky. Yo habla, tú hablas, él habla. Nosotros hablamos, ellos hablan. This ending changes all the time. In Indonesian, you do not really have this problem. So to speak in Indonesian is bicara. It's aku bicara, kamu bicara, dia bicara, and so on. So the bicara doesn't change. There are no verb conjugations, and this is pretty easy, right? Now the second reason why Indonesian is easy is that there are no cases, right? So what are cases? Well, in some languages like German or the Slavic languages like Russian, for example, some words like nouns or adjective, the endings of those words change depending on the function of that word in the sentence. Now, what does that mean? Let me give you an example. Let's take the word school, for example, right? You say, I go to school. The word for school doesn't change. But in Russian, the word for school is школа. But if you go to school, you say, я хожу в школу. В школу. You hear how the ending changes? Well, the way the ending changes depends on the case, depends on the gender. Is it plural? Is it singular? So this can be very complicated for people who just get started with a language that has cases. Indonesian doesn't have that. So the word for school, sekolah, very close to Russian, very similar to Russian actually. And if you say I go to school, aku pergi ke sekolah, right? No, the word doesn't change. Okay, still there? Now, the third reason why Indonesian is easy is that in informal Indonesian, the plural forms of nouns are hardly used, right? So, for example, a person in Indonesian is orang, but if it's 2 people, you say dua orang. So there is no plural form here. Now, officially, you can say orang, is basically the plural of person, people. But most of the time in spoken Indonesian, that's not really used. Another example here, student is siswa. But if you're talking about many students, you can say banyak siswa. So the word siswa doesn't change. You just say many student, basically. Now, the fourth reason is that Indonesian uses an alphabet based on the Romance and Latin script. So they use the same alphabet as we do. So you don't have to learn characters, all these things. You can read it basically from the beginning. Reason number 5, Indonesian is a phonetic language. And that basically means that words are spelled as they sound. Now, that's not the case for English, for example. Let's take the word to recommend. Why is it recommend and not to recommend, for example? Or resummand or resament or something. If you don't know, if you've never seen the word, you're not always 100% sure how that word is pronounced, right? It's the same thing in French. Now, in Indonesian, words are spelled as they sound. So if you know the basic sounds of Indonesian and you see a new word, you can make a good guess. Or actually, you can guess how that word is pronounced. So there you go. Now, reason number 6 is Indonesian has more or less the same word order like in English. So let's take that same example again. I want to go to school. Aku mau pergi ke sekolah, right? word by word. It's the same word order. Now, adjectives in Indonesian are put after the noun most of the time. So if you're, for example, talking about a black book, it's buku hitam. Just like in Spanish, you put the adjective after the noun. But in general, basic word order is exactly the same. Now, if you want to learn languages like Japanese or Korean, Mongolian, Turkish, you put the verb in the end. The whole order of the word changes, which can be really difficult for beginners. In Indonesian, you don't have this problem. Reason number 7, Indonesian doesn't have verb tenses. In English, you have many tenses, for example. I'm going to give you an example here from the blog post that I wrote, right? So, I smoke in Indonesian. Saya merokok. Saya is the polite form of I, merokok, to smoke, right? I am smoking. Saya sedang merokok. This sedang means that you are doing it now, right? Now then, saya sudah merokok. I sudah already smoked. So I already smoked. This is the past tense, you know. So in Indonesian, you only have one past tense. You just use the sudah, and the verb merokok doesn't change at all. Now in English, the same sentence can mean I smoked, I have smoked, I had smoked, I have been smoking, I had been smoking. You see how many tenses that you have in English. The same for the future tense. In Indonesian, if you want to say I will smoke, I will be smoking, or I will have smoked, you know. In Indonesian, you only have one future tense and you just use akan. Saya akan merokok. I will smoke. There you go. Indonesian nouns, just like English, don't have a gender. So in Spanish, for example, it's el hombre, the man, but it's la mujer, la. Now in German, you have der, die, das, there's 3 genders. And Russian nouns also have 3 genders. In most languages, well, I'm not sure if in most languages, but in many languages you have all these genders. In Indonesian, just like in English actually, you don't have that with just one gender. And then reason number 9, Indonesian doesn't have any tones, you know, so it's an Asian language. And then, you know, other Asian languages like Thai, Vietnamese, and then Chinese or the Chinese dialects, they have tones. In Indonesian, you don't have any tones. Now, there are quite a few reasons why Indonesian is maybe not the easiest language in the world to learn, at least for English speakers, and I will make another video in which I will show you what can make Indonesian a little bit tricky. Okay? Thanks for watching, and if you want to learn Indonesian, by the way, we have put together a course. It's called Vocaboost Indonesian. We have picked the most important words in Indonesian so that you can start your Indonesian studies. If you want to check it out, click it, just check the link below, and then we'll see you there. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.